Welcome back, everyone. You did it. You clicked on the link. Sharp Squares podcast for week 7 of the NFL season 2023-24. This is Eric Laser, and this is your Sharp Squares podcast. A third of the regular season is behind us, and this incredibly solid run of about 30 weeks now for our Sharps may, in fact, be ending. Last week was our worst of the season. Our Sharps in aggregate, 37-35 or 51.4%. Medal games, 1-3. Pick 5, 1-4. 3-2-1, 1-2, earning us 2 of 6 points. This puts us at season lows. Our Sharps are at 53.5% in aggregate for the season. Medal games are 15-10. That's 60%. Pick 5, we're down to 17-13. Oof. 55.6%. 3-2-1, we're also at 55.6%. 11-7 in our picks. That's 62.1%, but only 20 of 36 points earned. That's the aforementioned 55.6%. If you are not already subscribing to our free newsletter and you want Crim Notes from a leading podcast or two delivered to the comforts of your own home via email, please do go to sharpsquarespodcast.com and subscribe for free, and you will get that email to you each and every Friday, right around 5 o'clock East Coast time. And if you're not following us already on Twitter, which I'm sure you are if you're listening to the show, follow us at Sharp Squares Pod on X, not Twitter. All right, folks, what are we going to do this week? What are the top games? What are our picks? We're going to tell you through a little segment we called Gold, Silver, Bronze. And to deliver the information you are waiting for, I'd like to introduce you to a friend of mine and everyone's favorite fellow degenerate, the Greg Ross.
Eric, thank you so much. Tough week last week. We're looking for redemption. What do we have to work with?
I want you to know, since we started into the record and you were getting ready to go, I changed my shirt to my Sharp Square sweatshirt. So I'm ready. I didn't want the picks to be made without going double logo, one in the background and one on my chest.
You're superstitious. Do you think that's going to change our fortune from last week?
Yes, it is.
Well, you have 4 medal games to work with. 4 of them. There are 2 gold games. There are no silver games. And there are 2 bronze games. The top rated gold game, the pick, is the Detroit Lions. They're plus 3.5, traveling to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Steve Fezzik, RJ Bell, Scott Seidenberg, Eric Eager, the Whale Capper, Will Brinson, and the Favorites podcast all picked Detroit. There's quite a bit of dissent on the Ravens, though, and it still was the top-rated game. In dissent was Adam Chernoff, Fabian Summer, Rob Pizzola, Gil Alexander, and Stuckey. The second goal game, the pick, is the Seattle Seahawks. They're minus 7.5 at home, taking on the Arizona Cardinals. Kelly Stewart, Tommy the Hitman, Fabian Summer, Eric Eager, Adam Chernoff, Will Brinson, RJ White, and Cleve TA all pick Seattle. Nobody had the courage to take Arizona. The bronze games, the top bronze game, the pick is the Los Angeles Chargers. They're plus 5.5, traveling to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. A.J. Hoffman, Joe Ranieri, Ross Tucker, Chris Raybon, the Favorites podcast, and Mike Lombardi all picked the Chargers. The Whale Capper does like the Chiefs. The last medal game, also bronze, the pick is the Philadelphia Eagles. They're minus 2.5 at home on Sunday night, taking on the Miami Dolphins. Gil Alexander, Rob Pizzola, the Whale Capper, the Favorites podcast, Mike Lombardi, and Cleve TA all picked Philadelphia. Nobody picked Miami, surprisingly, Eric, on that. So you have 4 medal games. You got Lions and Seahawks gold, Chargers and Eagles bronze. That leads us to our 5 picks. Obviously, we're going to take our 4 medal games as the first 4 picks. What's our 5th pick? Well, the Washington Commanders. They're the 5th pick. They were the next highest rated game. By the way, we also get some extra value in the pool. They're -1.5. The current line, at least Friday afternoon Eastern time, is -3. Fabian Summer, Adam Chernoff, and Cleve TA all picked Washington. In descent, Chris Raybon and AJ Hoffman picked the Giants. By the way, the Commanders are on the road in New York to take on the Giants. So, Eric, 3-2-1.
3-2-1. The Seahawks emerged as our third game, folks. That's specifically because we have the same exact line, -7.5. The Lions game, which was our highest rated game in pick 5, dropped completely out because we were getting 3.5 in DraftKings and we were only getting 3 in 3-2-1. So our next highest game was the Eagles. They actually got elevated to silver status because we are getting a half point better in 3-2-1 for that pool. And then the Chargers come up as our third game, our 1 point game, staying in bronze status with the same exact line.
To recap, Eric, pick 5, Lions, Seahawks, Chargers, Eagles, Commanders, 3-2-1, Seahawks 3, Eagles 2, Chargers 1.
Good work. If that is all you're looking for, folks, and you want to miss out on 3 games that we're going to provide handicapping highlights for,
Some trends.
And some trends. That's right. If you want to miss out on trends and 3 games we're going to give you handicapping highlights on, you are now all dismissed. I'll start us off from Bet Labs. Since 2003, road favorites off a bye, going 13 days or more without playing, have gone 77, 49, and 2 against the spread. That's 61%. And that is, for week 7, the Packers -1 at the Broncos. From Bet On It, teams off a win as a dog of 6+ points and now are on the road are only 38.3% versus the number. So that means you need to fade this week the Browns and the Jets.
Eric, also from Bet On It, a team that was 5-0 and off a loss, and the line is more than 3, is 33.3% against the spread. That means fade the 49ers, who are -7 in Minnesota. From the Action Network, NFL unders are now 56, 36, and 1. That's 61% this season. That's the best win rate for unders since 1991, Eric. Best win rate for unders since 1991 through 6 weeks. What happened last week in week 6? Unders, they went 12-2-1.
Greg, in 1991, we were still friends. I don't remember taking advantage of that under trend back then, but maybe we did.
But in 1991 through 6 weeks, our record was definitely not 55%.
No.
Or even close.
Those were the days when we made our picks. That was no good. All right, let's jump into the games. All right, I am going to cover the first game. We'll have Greg take the second. We'll bring the ambassador in to close for us. If you want handicaps of all the games, all the medal games, all the other games that you may like, if you want to see notes from all the best shows out there making picks, come over to sharpsquarespodcast.com, click on community, and join the community. It is light change. I think it's $49.99 for the year, for 12 months. So that gets you through the rest of the football season and the first third of next year's football season, some other sports in between. You can get all that information. And if you just want to try out some of the content, just go to our newsletter. That's free if you haven't subscribed already. And we will share 1 show, maybe 2 a week. You can get to see the notes. So,
Eric, I think you should raise the price. I mean, there's just too much value there.
I'm going to keep it as is. So I'm the good guy and you're the bad guy for now.
Not much changes.
Here we go. 3 themes. We took the Lions +3.5. This was a gold game, our highest ranked game in our DraftKings Pick 5 pool. First theme, the line just isn't right. Scott Seidenberg from the Dream Preview. The summer line was Baltimore -3, but don't we feel a lot better about the Lions than we did before the season right now? How can the line still be 3? RJ Bell also says the 5 metric average they use on their show says that Baltimore should only be favored by 0.8. 3.5 in DraftKings, 3 in a lot of other pools. That's why the line isn't right. Second theme, bad spot for Baltimore. Steve Fezzik from the Dream Preview. They played Cleveland. The Ravens played Cleveland, then Pittsburgh, then in London, and now are playing Detroit with no bye after London. Third theme, the matchup is just a good matchup for the Lions and a bad one for the Ravens. From Matchbook, Judah says the Lions offense is a top 5 unit, but the Ravens have faced easy quarterbacks so far and have looked better than they are. They faced Stroud and injured Burrows, Richardson, Watson, Pickett, and Tannehill. He thinks they're a fraud. Whale Capper from Matchbook, Ravens don't rush the passer very well. The easy narrative that he disagrees with, Greg, is outside Goff's going to struggle. In fact, Goff is 33 and 31 ATS outdoors. Now, there is some dissent here worth paying attention to. One is the Lions are overpriced, and the second is the Ravens are actually underrated and undervalued. Stuckey from the Action Network and Gil from Beating the Book both think Detroit has beaten a bunch of bad teams on this 4-game win streak. The QBs they've beaten, Baker, Ritter, Love, and Young, and they haven't really played anyone good since Kansas City in week 1. Simon Hunter from the Favorites notes that the public's team is the Lions right now, so a lot of public money on the Lions. How the Ravens are underrated, undervalued. Here's a good stat Stuckey threw out during the Action Network. Lamar is 10-0 ATS when the spread is within a field goal, either as a favorite or a dog. He likes the Ravens. I encourage you to check out all the shows that cover this game. Timestamps, Action Network, 12 minutes, 55 seconds. Beating the Book, 48 minutes, 30 seconds. Dream Preview, 44 minutes, 59 seconds. CBS Pick 6, you could cover this handicap at 31, 30 seconds. And the Favorites, 21 minutes, 15 seconds.
Eric, the second goal game, also our top-rated 3-2-1 game, is the Seahawks -7.5 hosting the Cardinals. Notes courtesy of Patrick McQuillan. Thank you. Most of the handicapping are on 2 podcasts, so stay tuned for the timestamps at the end of this synopsis. CBS Pick 6 and Forward Progress. Sharps feel the Cardinals are back to who we thought they were at the beginning of the season. That's kind of a play on the Denny Green thing. They are who he thought they were, and it was the Cardinals. Okay. Will Brinson. Line reflects that Arizona is still being treated like the team that punched above its weight the first 3 weeks of the season. Eric Eager says both lines of scrimmage are bad for Arizona. Offense is not efficient. Seattle should be able to move the ball. From Tommy the Hitman, James Conner is a big injury to Arizona's already depleted offense. Cardinals also have one of the worst defenses in the NFL. Arizona is the worst team in the NFL in pressure rate. Also, Hitman notes Arizona has to run the ball to be successful, and Seattle has a stout rush defense. From Rob Pizzola, he notes the Seattle offense has a second best early down success rate. Arizona defense, meanwhile, dead last in early down success rate. The timestamps, CBS Pick 6, 43 minutes, 40 seconds. Forward Progress, 26 minutes, 30 seconds.
Finally, guys, we've got the Chargers plus 5.5. That is our bronze game in our DraftKings Pick 5 pool. And coincidentally, also the bronze game in 3-2-1. We're starting off with the Dream Preview, where AJ Hoffman notes that Justin Herbert is 5-1 against the spread versus Kansas City. By the way, the theme is the Chargers always keep games close. As we know, they don't always win them. In fact, they probably don't usually win them, but they keep them close. Herbert's only ATS loss was a 3-point dog, where he lost in overtime when Kansas City scored on the opening drive. Ray Bond from the Action Network pointed out that the Chargers have lost by 6 or more points only 3 times since the start of last season. And Stuckey says that this was going to be one of his picks if Ray Bond didn't take it first, so it's sort of like a bonus like, if you will. Chad from the Favorites noted that division dogs are 60 games above 500 against the spread the last 10 years. And there was some dissent here from the Whale Capper, who was on Beating the Book, and he predicted that KC will get pressure up the middle, and Herbert will have to throw into tight coverage with a depleted wide receiver core. He also said that the Charger defense is poorly coordinated and has a poor roster and is likely to give up 30 points. A lot of good information on this game on all of the pods. The favorites, you can find it at 15:30. GM Shuffle, 48 minutes, 27 seconds. Dream Preview, 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 55 seconds. Action Network, 8 minutes, 24 seconds. Even Money, 23 minutes and 39 seconds. And Beating the Book at 33 minutes and 40 seconds.
Great stuff. Great job by our producers. Patrick McQuillan doing a lot of notes. The ambassador, you played both sides of the ball today, doing the notes and been on the show. Thank you to everyone who puts the show together. A reminder, none of us are truly sharp. But this is your Sharp Squares podcast.
Good luck out there.